Ryno, tell me what inspired you to pursue a career as a CA SA?
Gerinda, what inspired me to become a CA, I actually didn't know what I wanted to do when I was at school. So up until the age of about 17, I was wanting to become a medical doctor. Then one day in career guidance class, I saw a picture of a man dressed in a suit with a briefcase getting out a jet, and I thought that looked really cool. So I also wanted to be one of those. So I read up about the brochure, and it turns out that the guy was a chartered accountant. So I've made inquiry about chartered accountancy. My best subject at school was accounting, so it was a good fit. So my career started as a chartered accountant. I applied for some bursaries to go to university, but I was unsuccessful, so I had to do my articles coming out of matric. So I can remember still I went with my matric farewell suit for my interview at PwC at the time, and that's where my career started as a chartered accountant in 1989.
So quickly give us a background of your career. After studies, you said you were at PwC, but what inspired you to start your own business?
Okay, to start my own business, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. After completing my articles at PwC, I attempted to do full-time honours in my accountancy at Stellenbosch, which I failed dismally. So I went back and I started working with Vodacom at the time. That was in 1994, and I spent some 3 years with Vodacom in their founding years, and within those years I attempted my BCom honours, which I managed to sort out in my second attempt. So this day I think I'm very clever because I did my honours 3 times. And after that I passed the board exam luckily, and that's where I qualified as a CA after 3 years in commerce. But within those years I also knew that I was not made for corporate life, and I had to pursue something. There was a higher calling on my life, so we started an accounting practice, accounting and audit practice with a partner, and that I was involved in for 14 years before this opportunity of this business came about. And today we're running this business, CashKows.com, from Hermanus, and that is my career path. Not a lot, so I've only worked for three places in my life before, but I'm very happy where we are right now.
Okay, tell me about, you said this opportunity came along, tell me a little bit about that. What do you mean by that?
Where the opportunity came from. A bit of history why we landed up in Hermanus, because I'm actually from the West End in Gauteng. Myself and my wife visited Hermanus one weekend in this 2008, and we made a life choice to move to Hermanus, and we decided to commute. It was for me to commute up and down to my practice in Krugersdorp. So we moved here. We just packed up and moved. It was in the GFC, the financial meltdown at the time. So we just took the chance and we did it. So I flew to Gauteng for 16 months. I commuted up and down, and I took 64 flights up and down. I actually counted that because of being an accountant. And within this period of flying up and down, I attended a tax seminar in lieu of our CPD requirements as chartered accountants that we had to do. And in this tax seminar, the lecturer mentioned something about an immigrant being able to surrender a retirement policy. That tickled my fancy because my brother stays in Australia and I was the custodian of his financial affairs in South Africa. So I started doing some research on the subject, and I found that there were no information available. Obviously, the nature of surrendering retirement annuities and taking out investments out of South Africa, I don't think the corporates necessarily hang that on the big clock. So that's why there were not really a lot of information available. So we did some research, and then I thought it was a good idea to start a business, because you can imagine how many South Africans have left the country over the last 30 years for that matter. So within that opportunity came along, and we started the business. We started building a business. We started putting systems together to being able to offer financial migration services to South African expats all over the world. And that's where the business comes from.
Tell me about your greatest career highlights.
My greatest career highlights would most probably be to start this business. It It happened coincidentally, as I said, with me attending a tax seminar. So it was really hearing this opportunity and making something of the opportunity. The fact that I was in public practice stood me in good stead to at least know how to set up a business and to go about doing my business. But my career highlight was definitely starting this business and driving this business. This business of financial migration is so new in South Africa and so unique that we are pioneers, and that's really career inspiring to do that and to be a pioneer in this field of expertise.
Okay, so your business grew in stages. Can you tell us about that? And then obviously you initially launched it then in 2009, but give us a little bit of that information.
Yeah, how the business started and how we've grown up to now. Obviously, this business started out with offering one service, being able to surrender a retirement annuity, an insurance policy. If you obtained an immigrant status, so people obtaining immigrant status, people that's left the country and gone through an immigration process, you are able to surrender your retirement annuity. Now, the significance of that was every expat or person that leaves the country, there's only one asset that you left behind, because people would sell their houses and liquidate all their assets, but the only thing that they could not liquidate, or until this day, are your retirement annuities, and in a lot of instances your pensions as well. So that's the uniqueness of this business. So we took that opportunity and we started surrendering retirement annuities after taking clients through a immigration process. Now, immigration process means your financial exit from South Africa. So we've developed processes and found out how to take clients through a financial migration process. And once we've done that, you are able to surrender your retirement annuity once you've obtained the status of immigrant. Okay, so that was the first service that we've launched, and all the other things that we do today, other services that we render, comes from clients that's asked us, what about this and what about that? Because obviously, if you surrender retirement annuities, there's capital that gets released and the capital gets transferred offshore, and we get the tax question obviously came along. So what happens with my tax in South Africa and what happens with my tax in offshore, wherever we're introducing the capital to? So we started getting involved in cross-border tax transactions, giving advice about cross-border tax. Also, we had a lot of inquiries regarding inheritances, because you'll find some clients offshore with aging parents in South Africa, so they'll have an inheritance, whatever, if there's a deceased parent, and we started getting inquiries regarding that. So that also helped us to develop a product where we surrender retirement, we are able to render service to pay out inheritances offshore. Because South Africa is unique with exchange control, you have to be afraid with exchange control regulations and how to go about transferring money offshore. For that purpose, we've also registered with the Reserve Bank as a registered Forex dealer through a bank, so we're able to offer Forex services as well. So as this business grew, we put all these products together, or from client demand, I should rather say, to give an end-to-end service, liquidating assets in South Africa, introducing it offshore with all the regulatory requirements met in between.
Okay, goodness, that's a mouthful. Obviously your business has got lots of different facets, but where's your passion and why?
My passion lies with people. I believe in people, and I believe the success of any business is because of their people. Now, it sounds like a cliche, but that is where my passion lies. I believe in unlocking potential in every person and every staff member, because if you're able to do that, you can imagine what you can achieve by putting a team of people together and unlocking every person's best qualities. And that is where my passion lies. This whole business started from scratch. There is no base, there were no recipe to follow to establish this business. Everything was started from scratch, as I said. The documents that were developed, the systems, the everything was because of people and because of clever people that crossed our way along this journey of the last 5 years, and we've managed to put this together. It's no credit to any person, it was just a good idea, and with a lot of people collectively making it a hugely successful business today.
Perfect. What do you think? Obviously, you are a leader, the leader in the financial immigration services that you offer. But why do you think you are the best in what you do?
Why I reckon we are the best? I'm very humble about being or making a statement and being the best in the industry. We're just fortunate to be the only company in South Africa rendering this kind of service to the magnitude that we are doing it, and in terms of numbers that we are turning. So it's by default that we are the leader in this business. And I think because of the last 5 years, we didn't really have competition in rendering this kind of service that we do, because there's a lot of skill involved. So the skills pool that one needs to put together to offer this service end to end leaves the competition out a bit of competing well, for that matter. But I'm also wary of the fact that we need to be ahead of our game and keep on innovating and keep on coming up with new ideas to stay ahead of the pack. But it is a unique service and it is a specialized service. And putting that together, I believe we are the leaders in what we do. We've got a good reputation offshore. Most of our business currently is 95% of our business is done with South African expats offshore. So we don't really deal in South Africa. Later this year, we will start offering our services of financial migration within the spheres of South African borders as well. But that's why I deem by default that we are the leaders at what we are doing.
So obviously you've started your own business, or your second business for real, but you must have learned lessons, and I think giving advice is always important. So what do you think are the biggest lessons you've learned that could help someone else out there that wants to start their own business?
Advice for someone starting their own business? I would put it down to I read a lot. I'm interested in people to find out what the secrets of their success are. So I like reading about success stories, and that I've learned over the years, and trying to dissect information why people are successful. And what I've learned is that most good business or successful businesses in South Africa are actually headed up by chartered accountants. So I thought initially, I said it's great, so we also have a chance. Even being an accountant, starting a business, we've got a good chance of making a success of it. And I'm referring to the likes of Saul Kersner and Whitey Basson and those guys. They run big businesses. So what I've learned from reading what they did or what their secret to success was, I deem, and what I try to implement in our own business is focus, that we focus on our core business. I think I can also refer to Capitec Bank. I mean, they don't deter of anything bar doing what they do and do it well. I do believe if one starts a business, you have to aspire at least to be the best, at it in the world and what you're trying to achieve. So that renders you to really focus on what you're doing. So that's, I think, is an important aspect. I've also learned over my career that people are not commodities. To be successful yourself in a business, you need successful people around you. And to harness success out of people, you have to give people recognition and respect people the way that you expect to be respected as well. So I deem that a very good element or good quality for every successful business to at least aspire to, is to not treat people as commodities. And then from a third instance is to employ people that are more clever than you. I've always held the notion that, we are accountants or chartered accountants, and we think we are clever, we know a lot of stuff, and I think we do, but we're definitely not specialists in various areas of business. So I would think to go look for the best marketing guys that you can find, other disciplines that we are not skilled at, to go source those kind of qualities and quality people to service that would stand you in good stead, and to allow those people to operate in areas that they know better than what you do. So give people the opportunity to really stand in the gap and do what they are asked to do from a business point of view.
Maybe you could just say the last piece